Hey everybody, it's Scott Fisher with John Graham and Associates. I'm one of the financial advisors here on our team. And as we head into August and school gets back in session, we wanted to take some time to talk about some college savings plans and different topics here throughout August. And so what we're going to be talking about here first today is the differences between 529 savings plans and then 529 prepaid tuition plans. So this is something that, when saving and looking to save for colleges, a lot of different options out there. So you want to make sure you know what the differences is and the pros and cons to each of the different plans. So a long time ago, the only way to have a 529 plan was through your state. Now times have changed. You do have the ability to have, private prepaid tuition plans or private 529 savings plans, but for what we're going to go through here today is going to be talking about specifically the state-sponsored plans that are available. So, really that first question that we get is, hey, well, how do they work? What are the differences? And one of the main commonalities between both of the plans are the tax advantages. That it offers tax-deferred growth is within the plans, as well as tax-free distributions, as long as those distributions are on a qualified educational expense allowed by the plan. And even with these commonalities in the tax advantages, the two different plans are very different. The 529 savings plan, it allows you to save for college or K through 12 by opening an individual investment account. When you make those contributions into your account, you'll have it already be going into a selected mutual fund that you picked when you open the account. In contrast, with a prepaid tuition plan, there are two different versions of prepaid tuition plans. You have a contract plan and a unit plan. The best way to explain these are really with two examples. With a contract plan, if your lump sum or your series of payments might pay for 3 years of tuition in today's dollars, and then the contract will state that in 18 years, when the beneficiary enters into school, that they will own that lump sum or series of payments will pay for 2 years of tuition. So you have that contract written in place. On the other hand, with unit plans, what you're doing is purchasing units that stay level. So, for an example, if it takes 100 units to pay for 1 year of tuition, and 100 units cost you $8,000 today, even in 18 years, 1 year of tuition is still going to be 100 units. And as long as you have already prepaid for them, you've already paid that tuition. Doesn't matter if in 18 years that tuition is then $20,000 or $30,000. It's already prepaid. Another common questions that we get is when we make contributions into these accounts, how do they get invested? As we stated there a little bit earlier, with the 529 savings plans, you're going to have an individual investment account with a with a menu of funds that you can choose from. Each state's plan is going to offer different investment selections. So that's one of the things that you want to look at is your state's investment options versus states surrounding you and throughout the United States. Now, with the 529 prepaid tuition plan, there is no individual investment account. All of that prepayment and the contributions come into a general account where the plan's money manager is in charge of the investments and to make sure that they hit their actuarial goal of keeping up with that tuition inflation there in the future. So it's not so much on the individual as it is, the plan's money managers. Now, one of the other questions commonly asked is, am I restricted? If I live in Illinois, do I have to use Illinois' 529 plan? The answer is different for each of those plans. With the 529 savings plan, you're eligible to use any state's sponsored plan. So that means if you live in Illinois, you can use Wisconsin or Iowa's state-sponsored 529 savings plan, or you can use Illinois'. The main pro of using the that state-sponsored plan that you have residence in is typically they would offer some type of tax benefit at the state level to participate in their plan instead of using another state's. Now, with the 529 prepaid tuition plan, you are restricted. If you live in Illinois, you're really only going to be available to use Illinois' state-sponsored plan, which is also going to be restrictive into only the state public schools. So you will run into issues if you are putting money towards a prepaid tuition plan and then the beneficiary decides to go to a university outside of the state of Illinois. And then lastly is, what are some qualified expenses, or what do these 529 plans really pay for? Well, with the 529 savings plan, you're going to have a lot more flexibility. Not only can they pay for tuition, but they can pay for books, fees, equipment, other things that you couldn't use with a prepaid tuition plan. Because with the prepaid tuition plan, it's only going towards tuition. It's not going to help you with the cost of books or any fees and room and board. So that's just a little bit into the differences between the 529 savings plan and then the 529 prepaid tuition plan. Make sure you tune in next week as we talk more about college savings.